Welcome to Allergy Dragon's Lair. My name is Martha Morgan. I'm a specialty diet and allergy chef. I happen to have celiac disease and multiple food allergies, and I am a mother to a child with over 30 food allergies and celiac disease. And since this is a Celiac Sister episode, I have to have my literal celiac sister with me. Cindy, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cindy Dennis, the CFO of Allergy Dragon and content provider for Cindy's Corner. What is our topic today, Marty?
Okay, so what is our topic today? I almost forgot about it, honestly. But it is seasonal allergies. So we happen to both suffer from seasonal allergies. But before we jump into that topic of our community question, we're going to do our disclaimer, which I'm going to read because, I forget it. I stumble over it all the time if I don't read it. And that is, the views expressed here on our show are the personal opinions and life experiences of ours and our guests. We are not healthcare providers or doctors. Please seek advice from your healthcare professional for any diagnosis or changes in your healthcare plan. Okay, then let's continue with the topic then. So seasonal allergies, I know I have them. Do you have them, Cindy?
Oh, yes, I do. And I'm pretty much a seasonal girl all year long. Lucky me.
The seasons don't you just enjoy
there
the
is
seasons.
No discrimination in my seasons. They're just gonna get me because I have a real problem when the weather shifts like this, and it seems to do that a lot more here in Delaware. All my allergy, I was doing really well when I was living in Maryland. They weren't too bad. I finally got a groove, and then I came to Delaware, and I have been hit over and over again. For me, during the rainy seasons here in Delaware, gets a lot of mushrooms, and mushrooms in the wild have a lot of mold to them. So in the yard, so it's not something you want to go out and pick up and eat. Those aren't good mushrooms. Those are not the mushrooms you want to eat. Those are the ones that cause a lot of mold spores to get in the air, and that causes me a lot of issues. A lot of the so even if it's rainy and those molds come up, and that can be a real problem for me. Flowering trees, evergreens, grass, pollen, and mold spores just get me. And I use a lot when I get a really bad stuffy nose, and my husband's always saying, I can start off in the morning stuffy, and I seem to clear up, and then I'll go into a stuffy nose and think, why's your nose stuffing up? Welcome to my allergy seasons. I'm sorry. He says, well, is it something you're drinking? Is it the wine? I'm like, no, it's just because I can even do it when I'm not drinking anything. See, I told you, it's just seasonal allergies. So if it gets real bad, I use Nasacort over the counter for my nose to kind of help me. I don't like to use it a whole lot. And then I've been taking, part of my evening routine anymore is to take a Zyrtec. And the reason there's kind of double duty that I take the Zyrtec to kind of help with allergies, but also somebody recommended it for when one of the side effects of one of my new medicines, the hormone therapy medicine I take, causes body aches, and Zyrtec can help that. An allergy, which I was really surprised, but evidently it does. And also try taking vitamin, and I also take a vitamin E too. So that's the reason for that. So it kind of does double duty. So then I kind of can stay off the Nasacort if I take the Zyrtec at night. It's when I forget to take my nighttime medicine that I get in trouble. But so yeah, I seem to have them all year round. I just feel like I have allergies all the time, and it's a no-win situation. So I did feel like at one point I got cleared when I was doing a little bit more, being better about my multiple vitamins and things like that. I have struggled with because of taking so much stuff that it just gets to a point that it's just, I don't know. And then I think it's just being new to the area. I mean, we came down 2019. I pretty much kind of have kept myself, So it's just, I think, a change as it goes through.
Mhm.
Like one time I woke up and I had quit having to take, when I was living in Maryland, when I first moved to Maryland, my seasonal allergies were so bad. Allergies were so bad. And the doctor says to me, "Oh, well, you came to the wrong state because of all the flowering trees." And so I took allergy medicine for the longest time. And then one season, it all stopped and I was fine for a while. For a few years, I didn't suffer. Then it came right back.
Mhm.
So I don't get it. I don't understand it. That's about how it does for me. What about you, Marty?
Somewhat very similar. Just remember to everybody that like whatever medications you're using, you want to check for allergens and gluten and all that other good stuff in them. But very similar. I'm very susceptible to mold and fungus. So like my allergies are actually worse in the fall and the winter than they are in the spring and summer. Not that I don't have them in the spring and summer, but they get way worse in the fall and the winter for me. So mold and that kind of thing, just like the leaves falling down and nobody cleaning them up and they, deteriorate, mold spores from the fungus. So yeah, I feel you there. And like I said, spring, I still have like some issues with birch, but pine trees, and that kind of thing. Like people want to like have pine trees in the house and that kind of thing. I'm like, no, not for us. I've never had a real pine tree in the house except for like when I would like go visit friends and that kind of thing because we already had that as a big allergen in the family. And so we had like an artificial tree. I've always had an artificial tree as far as like in my house. I remember I'd be like, I can't be around a real tree. Whenever it's gotten worse as it's gotten older. Like people want to do like the small pine trees, not the rosemary trees. The rosemary trees I'm cool with, but the pine trees, like they'll want to bring them in and like have them in a pot, and they go. And I'm all for trees, and we need trees for oxygen, but our pine trees just no. Hate them. And it's one of those things. I've always taken an allergen medication for 20, like it's one of those 24-hour wins. Pick a brand that works for you, basically. Talk to your doctor. But I have to take that. I'm with you. Sometimes I'll use like a nasal spray occasionally, but it's very few and far between. I'll neti pot sometimes, like clean stuff, out as natural as we can be. Filtration systems, where like, I'm having to make sure that the filters are good in the house, because sometimes inside your house can be just as, as bad as going outside. So like if you have a dust mite allergy or that kind of thing, luckily for us, we don't, but still have issues, like I said, with mold and that kind of thing. We have potted plants in the house, so I have to watch them for mold. The different type of environmental, seasonal allergies that I have to deal with. And for me, like I used to come visit Louisville when I was growing up, because I'm from Charleston, West Virginia. And growing up, I had horrible, horrible allergens. Like I remember when Dimetapp, this is just going to tell you how old I am. I remember when Dimetapp was a prescription. But back in the day, you couldn't get it over the counter. And so I remember that was like one of the first medications I had to take. But all that aside, like I said, West Virginia was actually worse for my allergens. And when I go back to visit, I always see the stuff. It's way worse. So for me, the mountains, and it's pretty. It's very pretty. I love the trees and that kind of thing. So I still have that here in Kentucky, but a little bit more urban. And then I hear people that will move here and say they didn't have allergies until they got here. So it just really depends on how you are. So I don't think there's this place that will not have mold and that kind of thing. So maybe if I go visit Cindy in Delaware, which I have never been, maybe it'll be worse for me. I don't know, because like I said, the fall and winter is worse. Yeah, be prepared. Better have some extra stuff. Maybe might need at one point I did actually have an inhaler when I was going through high school. They did give me an inhaler because I didn't have asthma, but there was times where I would get so aggravated from my allergies, seasonal allergies, that it would cause issues, and I would hyperventilate to a certain degree. Like it was very, very mild. And so they just gave me the inhaler to hit occasionally. It wasn't like a super high dose. It was just enough to kind of keep it open. And I didn't have to do it all the time. But I was never diagnosed with having asthma, but that would be the closest I ever had. Like, and I think that's what's weird in our family. Like most of us have not had asthma, but we have tons of seasonal allergies and food allergies and that kind of thing. So that's basically how I deal with it, and try to wash my clothes and my sheets and my blankets. But I think that that's really important because all that dirt and everything that you leave behind, and just making sure that when you go outside, you're prepared, and that you have stuff for if you decide to start sneezing. Because like I hate sneezing fits more than anything in the world. And when my nose gets really clogged up, and it won't even be like I'm not having trouble breathing, it just decides to start running, and I will sneeze like uncontrollably. I can't stop. It's like 5-10 minutes, and it's loud and obnoxious. It's not cute. It is loud and obnoxious, and I think and it hurts, like, because it will just get to the point where I have so much, not really snot coming out. I mean, it's kind of gross, but and it's clear, it's not an infection or anything. And it will feel like, when you're like at a pool and like you get water up your nose, that kind of sensation, that smell and the sensation, I get that from sneezing so much. And I hate it. And my eyes will be running. And I hate it. But after I do that, I feel much better. It's the body's natural mechanism to clean itself out. And it's like, the thing is, I don't always know what's going to happen. So I can't necessarily neti pot to kind of keep it from happening, because that's why I do that, to kind of clean everything out, to keep from having these sneezing fits. But it's my body doing the thing that it needs to do. But I hate it so bad. So if anybody else has that experience, let me know. Cindy, do you have that at all with the sneezing?
I actually was going to say I never had that until this year. I started having sneezing fits, like out of the blue, all of a sudden, sneezing fits. And you're right, it just keeps, and you're like, what is going on here? So I had never had sneezing fits until this year. It's something new for me. So I didn't know it was kind of related to that. But all of a sudden, and it's like over and over and over, and it's like for quite a while. And I'm like, oh, okay. I never had that before till this year.
Oh yeah, I'm like, if you don't watch it, like if you haven't peed in a while, you're gonna pee yourself too.
That's the worst part, because I have done that. It's like, because now at being at 60, and my bladder is like, and it's just like all of a sudden, like, oh, I gotta go take a shower.
Mm-hmm. It is the worst feeling.
Forget it.
Yeah, well, I had C-sections, but either way, it affects you. Believe me, I'll let y'all know.
Still affects you. Okay,
it still affects you.
Good to know.
Good to know.
I didn't have C-sections.
No, I know. That's why I threw it out there. So yeah, I didn't know that you had just gotten them, but I've had those for so long that my kids are aware of them. Like they're prepared. They're like, they know that like I can't talk to you right now because like it's gonna be 5-10 minutes of mom sneezing for
I'll be back.
And Don will be like, "Well, you stop," things like that, and I'm like, I wish I could. I just totally off subject. So like when Vesper, my youngest, gets like nose, like has sinus infections or any type of thing, they have got so much piercings on their noses, right? They use a Q-tip to like get the mucus out and stuff. And I'm just like, that's why I couldn't do it. Because if I started sneezing, like I thought about it, if I sneezed like that and had all that, and I'm no.
Me neither. No. I just find that to be the most disturbing thing about anybody. Now, good for you. You want to have piercings in your nose. That's fine. If it works for you. Me, that's just the first thing I think of. Ooh, you get a no, nasty nose cold. And no.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, go check out some of our YouTube videos with Vesper. And you will see what I'm talking about. They have a septum and they have a piercing, and they have a piercing on each side of their nose. It's very cute.
It is.
Very
It
cute.
looks really cute on her, but I just can't imagine having a,
Yeah,
yeah.
on them it looks very nice. I couldn't do it, and like, so I was just thinking about that. Like, if I would get rid of my nose piercing probably if I had one, because of my sneezing fits are that bad. So yeah, all aside from peeing and everything else, the things that we go into on our shows. So it's okay.
I think all women, it's facts of life, and I think sometimes we don't hear and discuss those as much as we should.
Yeah.
About the truth of aging and the things you do go through is,
sometimes it's not glamorous in any way, shape, or form.
No, not glamorous, not that,
no. And I guarantee everybody has some type of thing they're going through. So we just let you listen to it here, and you can empathize with us and be like, oh, thank goodness I don't have that problem, or oh my gosh, yeah, I have that problem. Either way, it works for us. So basically, that's it for my seasonal allergens and that kind of thing, that I can think of anyway. So we have our ending questions for each other, because I didn't forget this time. Are you proud?
I'm so proud of you.
Okay.
You get a gold star today.
I get a gold star? Just a gold star.
Just a gold star.
That's a gold star. As long as it doesn't go on top of a live pine tree, we're good.
No. Not lighted, not for a tree.
Okay, good. Just a gold star.
Yeah, that's good.
I'll take it. Okay, so Cindy.
Mm-hmm.
Says you've been doing it now, so you know the experience. So this is perfect. So would you rather have uncontrollable sneezing for 5 to 10 minutes or uncontrollable coughing for 5 to 10 minutes?
I think sneezing. Mm-hmm. Because I've had such a bad cough before that literally it was much worse. I had acute bronchitis. I don't know why they call it acute bronchitis. I had nothing acute about it, but that coughing is horrible. So I would think even just a dry cough. I went through that just recently, a dry cough. I'd rather go through the sneezing fit.
Mm-hmm. Yay, we agree. I would rather go through the sneezing fit because I feel like coughing takes even more energy than sneezing does. And I'm like, I just feel like everything is so sore after coughing, like 5 to 10 minutes. I mean, that's a lot. And I just feel like, yeah, it does involve other muscles, both of them. I don't feel nearly as tired after I have sneezed for 5 to 10 minutes than I do like if I've coughed uncontrollably for 5 to 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. So, and then yeah. And then you factor in the whole gagging part and then possibly throwing up. Yeah, no, I would rather sneeze for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so we are the same on that one. Okay, Cindy?
Would you rather cook or bake?
Okay, I think cooking and baking and I understand where people go from that they're different, and they are different. I'd rather cook or bake. It depends on what I'm in the mood for. Okay, yeah, if I had to give up a skill, I would rather bake. I'd rather bake because I feel like not enough people know how to bake. And it is science, and I love science, so I would rather bake. And I like pastries. That's why I became a pastry chef to begin with. So yeah, bake.
I was surprised to hear that. Interesting. Well, I would rather bake, and that's what I started out doing and did better. Now I'm learning to cook, and people don't realize that there is a difference between baking and cooking in some ways. So to me, you're right. It's a lot of chemistry involved, and it's very more specific. Whereas to me, cooking takes a little bit more creativity sometimes, and I think, and it's just my opinion, and patience.
Same. Patience could be taken both ways. Like, because for baking, you have to be patient. So that's what I find funny. I didn't expect you to say baking. Even though I know you baked a lot, I didn't expect baking. I figured you'd be cooking. Yeah, and it's all very scientific when you break it down, cooking and baking, but baking has to be precise. And I think like it's so interesting, like with what we do, and bad that you gave me a food question, is the fact that I could talk about food all the time. What we do with Allergy Dragon as far as the food aspect and creating delicious food, and you have to really know the acids and fats and salt and how those go together to make something delicious. And that, yes, we need low fat, like you need maybe a fat that's better for you, like not the fat itself is not bad. And then you need to understand like how that fat affects it for cooking. So I do think creativity goes a little bit longer in food, because we eat a meal itself 3 times a day. We don't necessarily eat baked goods all the time, unless you're eating bread with each meal. Okay, well, now that we have talked about food, so you ended up with food, we had really good questions there. So thank you, our community, for letting us know what kind of questions you want us to answer. Please keep sending them in, and we will try to cover as many as we can. And that includes people that you want me to reach out to see about interviewing. Okay, so subscribe, share, and listen to this podcast and our YouTube channel as much as possible. We really appreciate it. That's how you can support us. Check out our hybrid cooking classes with me, and check out Cindy's Corner for new content coming. And we will talk to you later. Bye.